Warning: what you don't know about your legs after 60 could lead to a fall that changes everything. Most people think weak legs are just part of getting older. But what if that's not true? What if the real problem isn't age, but missing nutrients your muscles are quietly begging for? And what if a few simple changes could help you walk stronger, steadier, and safer, starting this week? Welcome, everyone, to the Senior Healthcare Podcast, where we mix wisdom, science, and a whole lot of heart to help you live with strength, clarity, and independence at any age. Today's episode, it's going to flip what you thought you knew about aging legs, because the truth is, strong legs don't start in the gym. They start at the breakfast table. For those watching at home, if this topic matters to you or someone you love, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another life-changing episode. Now take a breath, get comfortable, and let's begin the podcast.
Today we're plunging into a topic that's, well, absolutely essential for keeping your independence and just enjoying life as you age. We're talking about leg strength, but maybe not in the way you usually think about it. We've gathered some really fascinating research for you, looking at how your nutrition, specifically certain vitamins, plays this huge role in keeping your legs strong and steady, a much bigger role than most people realize. Think of this as maybe a shortcut, understanding why your body might be quietly asking for certain nutrients.
It's so true. And what's really compelling about the sources we looked at is how they challenge that common idea, that feeling weaker in the legs is just something that happens when you get older, like it's unavoidable. But what this research suggests is actually a really powerful proactive approach, things you can actually do to maintain strength and stability starting this week even.
Right. So our mission today is pretty clear. We want to explore these key nutrients, understand exactly why they're so vital for your legs, for your balance, things that start right at your breakfast table. Because, as this research really highlights, strong legs often don't just start in the gym. They often start with what you eat. And maybe a key takeaway right up front from everything we've looked at, if you're over 60, what you might not know about what your legs need nutritionally. Well, it could potentially lead to a fall that changes everything. But the good news, and this is really empowering, a few simple, focused changes could help you walk stronger, steadier, and just feel safer on your feet. Okay, so let's really dig into this. We hear it all the time, don't we? That feeling a bit wobbly or unsteady legs. It's just part of getting older. But our deep dive really suggests it's not the full picture, not at all.
That's exactly right. And it makes you ask a really vital question. What if the main problem isn't just the number of candles on your cake, but maybe a quiet lack of nutrients? Nutrients your muscles are basically begging for. Our research points clearly to this. Your muscles rely on certain vitamins almost like they rely on oxygen. It's that fundamental. And when you don't get enough of the right ones, your muscles, especially in the legs, because they work so hard, they slowly lose their power. And that often shows up first in your balance, maybe how steady you feel, your confidence when you move.
It creeps in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So little by little. You might first notice it's just a bit harder getting out of a low chair, maybe. Or you find yourself leaning on walls or furniture more often. Or maybe you just start avoiding stairs without even thinking about it.
Right.
And what's really important here, something that the sources really emphasized, is that doctors check our blood pressure, our sugar levels, right? But they often don't routinely check levels of key vitamins like D or B12 or magnesium. Yet these are like the specific oil your engine needs for your muscles to work smoothly and strongly.
Exactly. It's like trying to run a car without enough oil. Things start to seize up. And once you really understand the nutritional reasons why your legs might be feeling weaker, suddenly you have options. You can actually do something about it. Our deep dive highlights one vitamin in particular. It's one that almost everyone over 60 could use more of, and it's absolutely essential if you want to keep walking tall and steady.
Let's shine a light then, literally, on one of the biggest but often missed reasons seniors lose strength: low vitamin D. We all know it as the sunshine vitamin, right? Your body makes it when sunlight hits your skin. Simple enough. But, and this is the crucial catch for those of us over 60, our research shows our bodies just don't make it or absorb it as well as they used to. Especially, with cloudy weather or just spending more time indoors, which happens.
It does. And the connection to muscle strength is incredibly direct. When your vitamin D levels are low, your muscles can actually start to feel tired, weak, even a bit shaky. You see, vitamin D is vital for muscle contraction. It helps your body use calcium effectively, which is kind of the spark plug for muscle firing. So you might notice getting out of that chair feels harder, or maybe your knees feel a bit wobbly going downstairs. That's not just getting older. That's often your body signaling it needs more vitamin D. It helps muscles work right, keeps your balance steady, and yes, it's absolutely crucial for your bones too, which is the foundation for everything.
It's a bit sneaky though, isn't it? Because you often don't feel a vitamin D deficiency. Not until you start noticing these functional things like weakness or wobbliness. The damage is already starting to happen, and that's why so many people over 60 might have weak legs and not know the underlying reason. But the solution, thankfully, can be surprisingly straightforward.
It really can. We found that simple adjustments, like just getting 10 or 15 minutes of early morning sun, maybe while you have your coffee, that can help. Or consciously adding vitamin D-rich foods, think eggs, fatty fish like salmon, or even taking a good quality supplement. These can make a real noticeable difference, sometimes in just a few weeks. There was this wonderful example in the research, an older woman in Florida. She'd stopped walking to her mailbox because she felt too weak. Started focusing on getting a bit more sun and ensuring her vitamin D intake was good. And soon she was back to her daily walk. She literally said she realized she was just missing sunlight. It's a great illustration that sometimes strength doesn't just come from lifting weights, it can come right from your breakfast plate or stepping out onto your porch.
That's fantastic. So vitamin D is clearly a game changer for the muscles themselves, but our deep dive also highlighted another really critical vitamin your legs rely on, B12. And this one is more about protecting your nerves, right?
Exactly. That's such a key distinction. You can have strong muscles, but if the nerves sending signals from your brain to those muscles aren't working properly, well, the muscles can't do their job effectively. Think of vitamin B12 as maintaining the insulation on those nerve wires, keeping the signals clean and fast. And the research is quite clear. After 60, our bodies often just get worse at absorbing B12 from food, even if you eat a really healthy diet.
And people might feel that B12 issue before they even know what it is. Like maybe it starts as a bit of tingling or numbness, often in the feet. Or that feeling of being a little unsteady, maybe dizzy, especially when you stand up quickly.
Precisely. Those can be signals from your nervous system asking for backup, asking for more B12. Without enough, it can feel like your legs are working on a slight delay. Your coordination might feel off, impacting your balance.
Like the messages aren't getting through quite right.
That's a good way to think about it. But the good news, again, as our sources showed, is that getting B12 levels back up is often quite manageable. It's found in foods like eggs, dairy, meat, fish. But if absorption from the stomach is the issue, which it often is as we age, then a simple supplement or sometimes even a B12 shot from the doctor can really help wake those nerve functions back up. It's not about pushing harder, it's about giving your body the specific tool it's missing. We even came across a powerful story about a man who actually stopped driving because he felt so off balance all the time. Turns out he was severely deficient in B12, got treatment, and within a couple of months he felt confident enough to drive again. That's a huge quality of life difference.
Wow, that really brings it home. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Let's talk about something super frustrating. Leg cramps. Oh, those sudden, awful cramps that wake you up at night or stop you in your tracks. That sharp, twisting pain. It's not just annoying, is it? Research suggests it's often your muscles screaming out for another mineral, magnesium.
Isn't it fascinating? This quiet little mineral, magnesium, plays such a crucial role. It's essential for helping your muscles relax, to stretch, to recover after use. Without enough magnesium, they can stay tense, like tightly wound ropes, much more prone to suddenly seizing up in a cramp. And the sources point out that a magnesium shortfall often doesn't make a big announcement. It might start subtly, maybe just some twitchiness in your calves, or your legs just feel generally stiff. Then bam, you get those full-blown painful cramps. And like you said, so many people just think, oh, I'm just getting older, instead of realizing it could be a nutritional gap.
So for you listening, if you're dealing with those awful cramps,
Yeah.
what can you do? Thankfully, magnesium seems to be one of the easier things to boost in your routine.
It really is. And often through simple food choices. Things like adding more leafy greens. Spinach is a powerhouse. Maybe having a banana, especially before bed. Some people find that helpful. Even a small handful of almonds or other nuts and seeds during the day. These are small steps with potentially big payoffs for reducing cramps. And if eating those things consistently feels like a challenge, there are magnesium supplements. Many are designed to be gentle. Some even come as powders you mix in water, which can be easier on the stomach. We read about a man in his 70s. He loved walking in the park with his wife, but nightly leg cramps forced him to stop. It was really impacting his life. He started adding spinach to his morning eggs and took a gentle magnesium supplement. He said the cramps became rare, almost gone. His words were, he felt like his legs are breathing again, just able to relax.
Legs breathing again. I like that.
Ew.
Okay, one more crucial piece of this puzzle. Let's pause and remember our legs aren't just muscle. Underneath it all, there's the frame, our bones. And as we age, keeping those bones strong is absolutely vital for stability.
It brings up another key question, doesn't it? How do our bones stay strong enough to support us to prevent fractures if we do stumble? That's where vitamin K2 comes in. Now, K2 isn't as famous as calcium or vitamin D, but our sources highlighted its critical role. Without enough K2, your body can't effectively direct calcium into your bones where it belongs. The research described K2 as being like a traffic director for calcium. It tells the calcium, go here, into the bones, strengthening them, instead of letting calcium potentially build up in places you don't want it, like your arteries.
and you might not feel your bones getting weaker right away. But our deep dive showed it can show up in subtle ways that affect your movement. Maybe you start walking a bit slower, taking a more careful, shorter step, or maybe that fear of falling starts to creep in, even if you haven't fallen.
Exactly. People often focus on balance exercises, which are definitely important. But if the underlying structure, your bones, are becoming fragile...
Well, it's like building on sand, isn't it? Vitamin K2 helps build that solid, reliable bone foundation from the inside out.
That makes sense. Build the frame first. Right. And a really interesting point from the sources is that you generally won't find much, if any, vitamin K2 in your standard multivitamin. It tends to hide in specific foods, things like natto, that fermented soybean dish from Japan.
Which might be a bit adventurous for some.
It might, but also in aged cheeses, egg yolks, and dark meat poultry like chicken thighs. So just knowing this helps you make small, smarter choices, like maybe choosing full-fat yogurt or cheese sometimes, as it naturally contains more K2 than the fat-free versions. There was this wonderful anecdote about an 80-year-old woman who'd never had a fracture. She attributed her strong bones simply to a lifetime habit of eating eggs and cheese regularly. It just shows how sometimes those traditional ways of eating contain hidden wisdom about nutrients we're only now fully understanding.
Okay, so we've covered vitamin D for muscle power, B12 for nerve function, magnesium for preventing cramps and muscle relaxation, and K2 for bone strength. That's a lot of great information. But here's the real question, isn't it? How do you actually use all this? Because knowledge is great, but it only helps if you put it into practice. What really makes the difference is your routine, what you do consistently, day in and day out. And the really good news, from everything we looked at, is that building these nutrients in doesn't have to be complicated or overwhelming.
Not at all. It's really about layering in a few simple, consistent habits, feeding your legs what they've been asking for. The sources suggest starting really simply, like in the morning, maybe step outside for just 10 minutes. Get that early sunlight while you sip your coffee. There's your vitamin D boost. Then at breakfast, maybe have an egg or two. Could you toss some spinach into an omelet or scramble? Right there, you're getting B12 and magnesium. Maybe add a slice of that edged cheese, or have some full-fat yogurt. You're sneaking in some K2. See how you're stacking these things into your normal meal, little by little.
Effortless. And what about later in the day? If you feel a bit tired, or maybe your legs feel stiff mid-afternoon, the sources suggested a gentle stretch, sure, but also maybe having a glass of water with one of those fizzy magnesium powders mixed in. Apparently, many seniors really like the lemon or berry-flavored ones, easy to take. And then for dinner, maybe a nice piece of salmon or some roasted chicken thighs. Helps cover your bases again for D, B12, K2. You're not going on some crazy diet. You're not trying to change your entire life overnight. You're just thoughtfully nourishing your muscles and bones.
Precisely. It's about nourishing, not dieting. There was this powerful image shared in one source of a retired gentleman. He kept a simple sticky note on his refrigerator. All it said was, "Strong legs, steady steps." And that was his daily reminder. To take his targeted supplements, yes, but also just to keep moving his body in a way that felt good to him. For him, that meant a walk around the block. For someone else listening, maybe it's dancing in the kitchen while the kettle boils or some light stretches before bed. The exact activity isn't the main point. The consistency is. Building the supportive routine. And this routine, it's not just about avoiding a fall, though that's hugely important. It's really about walking with confidence, feeling strong in your own body, living with freedom and grace. That's the real goal, isn't it?
That's beautifully put. So wrapping this up, what does this deep dive truly tell us? We've really explored how these specific nutrients, vitamin D, B12, magnesium, K2, are absolutely critical for keeping your legs strong and steady as the years go by. It's quite a shift in perspective, isn't it? Moving away from just accepting decline towards recognizing we have real power through nutrition.
It absolutely is. And this knowledge, it's a powerful tool for you, a tool to protect your balance, protect your independence. The sources do remind us, of course, that this information is for educational purposes. Always talk to your doctor about your specific health needs. But it really serves as a wake-up call, you know? That after 60, the choices we make every day, especially around what we eat, they just carry a bit more weight. They matter more.
They really do. So our deep dive leaves us with a question for you, our listener. A bit of a provocative one, maybe. Are you going to keep sort of hoping your legs will just get stronger or maybe stay strong on their own? Or are you ready to actively help them starting today? Are you willing to protect your future mobility, your independence, with maybe just a few simple habits that can easily fit into your life right now?
Because ultimately, it's those small, consistent steps, like consciously adding one new vitamin-rich food to your breakfast, or remembering that supplement, or stepping outside for that bit of sun. It could be that one small, consistent step that makes all the difference. The one that helps keep you standing tall, walking steady, and feeling confident for many, many years to come.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. A big thank you to our amazing audience. If you've been listening closely, you now hold something rare, the knowledge to protect your legs, your balance, and your independence. The next step? Actually using it. Remember, everything we shared here today is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not a replacement for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. But it is a wake-up call, because after 60, every choice you make matters a little more, and every small step you take, like adding a new vitamin to your routine, could be the one that keeps you standing tall for years to come. If this episode helped you in any way, we invite you to subscribe to the Senior Healthcare Podcast and turn on those notifications, because this is just the beginning. There's so much more to learn, and we're here every week to walk this journey with you. So let me ask you this. Are you going to keep hoping your legs will just get stronger? Or are you ready to help them starting today? Are you willing to protect your future? 5 simple habits that fit into your life right now. Until next time, stay strong, stay steady, and stay curious.